My husband betrayed me in the worst possible way on our 7th anniversary. Now, his life is in the dump and I have the life he always dreamed. Before meeting my current husband, I was married to my ex-husband, Dave. Dave and I met when we were 5 years old. He moved into our neighborhood when he was 5. He was this cute boy next door. We became inseparable. Even our parents joked that when we were adults we would be married. Ever since I knew the concept of marriage, I was determined that I would marry Dave. We were like soulmates. We had the same interests, the same hobbies, the similar thoughts. He was my first everything. My first kiss, my first boyfriend, the guy I lost my V card. Among our friends, we were the perfect couple. After graduating high school, we immediately got married. I got into a good school, but I decided to study with Dave. We got married right after we finished high school. Our parents helped us find an apartment closer to our school. We worked hard. We would often talk about having kids. During our 7th year of marriage, my mom got sick, so I had to stay with her for a while. I was planning to do something special for our 7th year anniversary, so I left early to surprise him. I went to my bedroom and there I saw my husband effing another girl in our marital bed. I can never get that image out of my head. My husband saw me and his face turned pale. I don't know what happened, but I threw up right in the spot. My husband was giving me the usual "it's not what it looks like, I am sorry. It was a mistake." I locked myself in the bathroom. I somehow mustered my strength and called my friend to pick me up and just don't listen to Dave. When my friend arrived, she charged Dave. She grabbed some of my things and we left. I was in a catatonic stage at that point. Eventually, my parents knew. They supported me on whatever decision I would make. Dave's parents, however, wanted us to be together. According to his mom, he was devastated when I wanted a divorce. She tried to convince me to stay with him even after knowing he so cheated. She was angry at me and my parents when I said no. She blames me because she thinks that if I had stayed, her son would not have become a serial cheater because I could fix him. There was a huge fight, but eventually, we settled for divorce. My whole fairy tale fantasy just shattered. I was spiraling into depression. My parents booked me a therapy. For 2 years I was like a living corpse. After that, my friend pushed me to go on a date. I did, but no one even came close to Dave. I was searching for Dave in every guy, but they all failed to live up to the expectation. That is when I met my now husband, Jay. Jay was the opposite of Dave. Dave was funny. He would be the life of the party. I remember one time he made me laugh so hard that I fell from my chair. But Jay was not funny like Dave. He would use humor only as clapbacks, and if he wants to insult someone, he was also very stoic and closed off. Pretty boring to my taste. On our first date, I asked him some questions like, "What is your favorite movie?" He told me he doesn't watch movies. He likes reading. He didn't even ask me a thing except for my educational background. He talked mostly about my field of work, but he was not interested in me. We ate dinner in silence. I was 100% sure he would not call me, but 2 days later he did. He asked me out on a second date. I was skeptical of whether or not I should go, but my friend insisted. I gave it another try. The second date went slightly better than the first. He talked a bit more. I asked a few questions. We were taking it slow. He was opening up until the 6th date when he finally hooked up. TMI, it was amazing. I am someone who has a snack after having intimacy. I was craving for some, so I asked him if I could grab something from his pantry. Even a bread and cheese sandwich will do. He told me to stay there and he went out. I was kinda confused. He came back after 20 minutes with takeout food. It was something I really liked, orange chicken. I asked how he knew. He told me, "You told me on our previous date." I melted. Right there. Dave and I have been together for most of my life, but he never made the effort to go out and get me something. That's when I knew even if he was not my soulmate, I was madly in love with him. We dated for 3 years and got married. I came to know about Jay's family too. Throughout our marriage, I was very, very happy. He was different from Dave because whenever he would see me doing chores, he would ask, "Need help?" He helped me through my trauma from Dave by arranging a therapist who specializes in infidelity. He may not be a person of words, but his actions tell me that he loves me. When I was pregnant with our daughter, I would wake him up in the middle of the night to either get me food or rub my feet. He would say, "Yes, ma'am," and get to work. I love him. Even after 15 years of marriage, my love has not stopped. He is still the stoic man I fell in love with. After meeting him, I stopped believing in the concept of a soulmate. He was not mine, but we somehow made it work. I love you, Jay. Thanks for being there in my life. And anyone who is wondering what happened to Dave, he is getting his 3rd divorce. His mom blames me for his downfall, but she refuses to see that her son cheated on his every marriage. Update 1. I used to say "I love you" a lot in my first marriage, but after my divorce, I had some sort of aversion to those words. Over the last 18 years, we have said "I love you" only 5 times. The first time was when we were dating, the second was on our wedding day, the third and fourth was when our daughter and son were born. 5th was 5 years ago on Christmas when we were really tipsy because of the drinks. I wrote a post about how I met him and how we got together, but it made me realize that we haven't said "I love you" to each other for a long time. But it didn't bother me. Even if he never said it, he always showed that he loves me in his actions. He did chores for me. He would always give me a foot massage, make me my favorite dish, and even kiss me out of the blue. I do not have any complaints. He is the best husband anyone could ever ask for, but this has been in the back of my mind for a while. We cuddle, we hang out, and we make love, but still no "I love you." I would love to hear it and say it more often, but somehow it just makes me nervous. I decided to buckle up and just say it. It's just 3 words. So yesterday, when he was reading a book on the couch, I stood before him and said, "I love you." He looked at me and was confused. I repeated it. For the first time, I could see him get flustered. He told me okay. I was a little disappointed by his response. I thought he just didn't love me anymore. Later that night, when I was lying down, he came to our bedroom and told me that he was sorry for his response, that it caught him off guard. He told me that he loves me a lot. Not even a day goes by when he doesn't feel lucky to have me in his life. I was tearing up. That was better than my confession. I asked him why don't we say that often. He told me that he doesn't say it because, throughout his entire life, no one has said it to him except for me. His parents were addicts who cared less for him. He had to start working at 14. He grew up in hardship, so saying I love you's are weird for him. But also, he feels like we didn't have to tell each other when we express it with our actions way more. I told him I wanted to say it more now and wanted him to say it back if that was okay with him. I saw him smile for a while, and he said it was fine as long as I liked it. We don't need to say it when we know we love each other a lot. We will probably stop saying it after a few days and go back to our mundane events lol.